everybody. How are you doing today? Wow, today we have a really big, important topic that we're going to talk about today. Um, we're going to talk about the immune system. And well, 1 second, my screen sharing thing's not going quite right. But we're going to talk about the immune system. And this is a part of your body. It's a system that's actually all over your body. It's not just a part of your body. It actually has many parts. And it actually is responsible for protecting you from all the diseases and all the germs that are out there. It's actually a really big topic, and it's a little complicated, but I know all you guys are really clever and very smart. And so I think you'll learn something today. I think it's complicated, but it's super interesting. A lot of really cool history. And yeah, it's definitely worth knowing more about, especially in the age of COVID. And especially since we're starting to get all these vaccines now, and there's different kinds of vaccines. And so we're going to talk about all of that today. It's pretty exciting, I think. So yeah, I'm Grace, 36 years old. I live in Kunming. I speak a little Chinese, but you guys all have pretty good English, so I don't have to use any Chinese. Woohoo! I don't think I could say any of this in Chinese anyway. So could you just please type where your name, where you live, and your age and grade? I just would like to know where you guys are today, who I'm talking to today. So yeah, please go ahead and just type that in the box. And yeah, see who we got here. Oh, Lulu, Hong Kong, Tony in Shanghai, Nina from Shanghai. Hi guys. William, Shanghai grade 4. We got Tony, who's in grade 3. I don't think you're 3. Yeah, 3rd grade. Suzhou, nice. Shanghai, Joanna. Wow, so we have a lot of people from China here today. Do we have anyone from Canada here today? Grade 9? Or Tony, are you 9? I'm not sure. Grade 4, Canada. Chengdu. Yeah, nice to meet you guys. Yeah, I look forward to talking with you today. So yeah, actually, there are treatments. So when you say cure for COVID, that's a little bit, it's not very specific a word, but we do have a vaccine now, and we'll talk about what a vaccine is. And we do also have some treatments that are actually based on your immune system. Beijing, Taiwan, cool. All right, so we got people from all over. So welcome to my Zoom class. All right, so question, have you ever been very sick, like throwing up, fever, maybe you had diarrhea? Oof. Have you ever been sick? What happened? I mean, obviously you didn't die because you're in my chat. You threw up. That stinks. Yeah, Hannah. Hanlu. Threw up. Yeah. So when you throw up, what else did your body do? What did your temperature do? Do you remember? Like, I've been having a tummy ache a lot. Oh, grade 3. Yeah, your temperature goes high. We'll talk a little bit about why that happens today. Oh, stung by a jellyfish. Yeah, that's not a good thing. But yeah, so sometimes when we get sick, we get fevers. Okay, this is something our body does to help us fight. When you throw up, when you vomit, your body's actually trying to get rid of maybe poisonous things that are in it. Maybe there's a bacteria in your stomach or in your intestines, and it's trying to get rid of the bad bacteria or something poisonous. Yeah, it's bad when you can't drink water, right? So when you get sick, your body has things that it does to help you get better. And actually, like a fever, not a fever is actually something your body does to help you fight infections, to help you get better. If you eat something really, really bad, like The other day I had some bad shao cow and I threw up really badly. Oh, it was horrible. Um, but my body was like, whoa, something is bad in this food. You need to get this out now. So I threw it up and it didn't make me really, really sick. I just threw up and then I was all better. Yeah. Well, being sick isn't good, particularly Yolanda, but your body does things when there's a problem with something going on inside your body to help you get better. So it's trying to get back to what we call in science homeostasis. Homeostasis. This is when your body's trying to get back to that happy, normal zone. All right, next question. Hi, Lisa. Have you ever had a vaccine? Do you know what a vaccine is? I think the Chinese word is email, I think, like a vaccine. Have you ever had a vaccine? Why did you get this vaccine? Yeah, so some people are saying yes. Okay. Smallpox vaccine. Are you like 40 years old? Smallpox vaccine, they stopped doing that about 30 years ago because there is no more smallpox. It's all gone, except in some crazy labs, maybe. Yeah, vaccines help you not get sick. Chicken pox, yes. I think shui dou is what they call it in Chinese. Chicken pox. A lot of you guys have had chicken pox, right? Or a chicken pox vaccine, and that helps you from getting chicken pox. You won't get chicken pox. Or right now, can you think of any vaccine in the news recently that everyone's like, yay, vaccines? Yeah, not everyone gets a chicken pox vaccine. Yes, a COVID vaccine, right? We all know like SARS-CoV-2, right? With the coronavirus. We all know that that's like a big problem. And we now have a vaccine that actually can help stop people from getting COVID. And so maybe the pandemic will be over soon. We'll see. But there's also different kinds. Yeah. So here you have Bart Simpson, and he's getting a shot. So you guys have all had your vaccines of some sort. I had a vaccine the other day for something, and yeah, we all get vaccines at times in our lives. Well, most of us do. All right, so the book we're going to talk about today is The Immune System. Okay, so I'm actually, some parts of this we're going to spend more time going over. Some parts I'm going to go like very, very fast because I want to get to, I think, the parts that are most useful for you today. Okay, guys? So some of this we're going to skip over, go really fast, other parts a little bit slower. So let's get into it. Sounds good? Okay, so I can read along and you guys follow, okay? So millions of tiny bodies surround you every day. They swarm around you in the air, rest on surfaces you touch, and live in your food. Sounds scary? Not really. Most of these hovering bodies are harmless. Some are even helpful to you. Only a few can cause problems if they get inside. How does your body defend against these potential invaders? It relies on an immune system. So, somebody was asking, what's the difference between good bacteria and bad bacteria? Well, good bacteria, these are bacteria that actually can help us, that they don't hurt us. So actually what they can do, you actually have some bacteria in your stomach, for example, that help your body produce vitamin D. You have other bacteria that they live on your skin and they actually help protect your skin from bad bacteria that might cause problems. So those are considered good bacteria. Now, there are some bad bacteria in your stomach, for example, or not your stomach, your large intestine. For example, if you go to the toilet and you do a number 2, you go poo poo, you go poo poo. If you go poo poo in the toilet, what should you always do after you go poop? You should take your hands and what should you do? You should wash your hands. Yes, thank you. Somebody said it. Wash your hands with soap and water. Don't just like, oh, wash, I'm good. No, get some soap, wash it with soap and water. Because in your poop, in your large intestine, there's really bad bacteria. I mean, like horrible bacteria, like kill people kind of bacteria. And if those bacteria that were in your poop get into the wrong place, maybe you get them into your mouth, maybe you get them into your eye, they could cause really big problems. So the bacteria, there are some bacteria when they're in your poo-poo, not a big problem. They actually help you maybe digest food. But if those bacteria go from your poop, from your large intestine, and they get into your eye or they get into your mouth because you didn't wash your hands after you went to the toilet, oh, big problem. So yeah, so there are good bacteria and bad bacteria. So your immune system. Your immune system is a group of cells, tissues, and organs that work together to keep invaders and destroy those that do get in. The immune system also keeps track of past invaders and makes substances to fight them off if they return. Oh, so your immune system, it will fight the bad guys, and then it's actually really clever. It doesn't just like fight the bad guy and be like, okay, I hope I don't fight him again, and forgets about the bad guy. No, 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 no. Your immune system, it will remember the bad guy. So he remembers like, okay, what worked against this bad guy, this bacteria, with this special bomb. And so it remembers, okay, if I see this bad guy again, I just throw this at it and it kills the bad guy, okay? The members of the immune system include the lymphatic vessels, lymph nodes, red bone marrow, white blood cells, thymus gland, spleen, appendix, adenoids, tonsils, and Peyer's patches. Each of these parts play an important role in your body's defenses. Okay? So there's a lot of different parts. We're going to talk about some of these more, some of these a little bit less. But basically, you see this girl, she's doing like some kickboxing. She's going like, hi-ya! Okay? That's what your immune system does to bad guys. A virus, let's say the COVID virus comes around, your immune system's like, wata! And like, hi-ya! Kills it. It's gone. It's dead. Okay? And the cells that do that, we actually have these cells called T cells and B cells that can actually like, they're the ones that are like, hi-ya! They do the killing. Okay? And so these are really important cells in your body. So let's look at this, okay? This little orange box here, it says antigen alert. Okay, now antigens are basically, they're a little bit like flags that let the body like, holy crud, oh, this is not my body. This, because like your cells are good, right? Your body, does your body want to kill your own cells, like your brain cells? Like, no, your body's like, no, I want to protect those. So what it is there's some cells, there's cells that can recognize when something that is not from your body comes in, and the way that it knows that is this thing that's not from your body. It has different antigens. It basically is like something that says like, hi, I'm not from around here, and then the body's like, okay, time to die. So yeah, it's not good to be an antigen in the cell. So antigens are responsible for determining whether a substance belongs to a specific body or not. Antigens are chemical identification markers. So they help your body know what is you and what is not you. It's actually really, really important, because how do you know if something bad is inside you if you don't know, if it's not marked? Okay, so antigens actually are the markers. They're little flags that say me, not me. So if somebody comes around and says this is, if a cell comes around into your body and does not belong to you, your body's like, let's kill it. Okay, your body does not like things that don't have the right antigens. Okay, so this is actually a picture here of a killer T cell. Okay, you see let's see, yes, the killer T cell is this red thing here, okay? And this is actually a cancer cell. Okay, so this is actually a cell in your body. Actually, your body's always looking for problems. It's always looking for potential problems like cancer cells, and as soon as it sees a cancer cell, it's like, time to kill it. Okay, so actually your body has these white blood cells, these cancers or these killer T cells that are always going around looking for things that are problems. So this is a dying cancer cell here. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so obviously, if you think about this, your body is super. There's a lot of different things that can make you sick, right? Like the COVID, the COVID disease, that's caused by a virus, correct? So a virus is actually very different from a bacteria. A bacteria is a lot bigger and it's alive, whereas a virus is basically super, super teeny tiny and not alive. And then, okay, there's some things that can make you sick, like cancer. Cancer is actually your own cells deciding to go crazy and doing their own thing. And then you have other things still, for example, like botulism. Like if you've ever had like really bad food poisoning, where you're throwing up really, really badly and you had to go to the hospital, it's that's actually a response from poison, okay, which isn't necessarily a virus or a bacteria, but it's being caused by a bacteria. And so there's these different ways that we can get sick, different ways that that things attack us. And so actually we have to have different kinds of ways to fight these problems. So just like an army has different kinds of soldiers, for example, a sniper, you know, shoots from way far away. Infantry, you look at his gun, he just goes and shoots everybody. We also have Air Force, like different soldiers in the military to protect our countries. Our body actually has different kinds of immune cells. It's not like white blood cells do it all. It's actually there's a lot of different kinds of cells that all work together. So we'll talk a little bit about some of the major players. Whoa! You have to memorize all this and there will be a test on it in 15 seconds. No, no, no. So guys, this is just to give you an idea how complicated, or how, I guess, beautifully complicated your immune system is. And so this isn't even really all of the different kinds of cells that your immune system can make, but you can see you have like one kind of cell that is the starter cell, and then it can become like one of these four kinds of cells, or five kinds of cells, and then all of these kinds of cells can become different kinds of cells. And so actually there's a lot of different, well, hello, there's a lot of different kinds of soldiers in your cell army. So in your body, you have red blood cells. You know what those do? Those carry your oxygen. You have neutrophils and lymphocytes. Okay, these are yeah, kind of white blood cells. We have monocytes. We have all these different kinds of cells. So we're not going to talk about all of them, but if you find this interesting, like, you can spend like years studying this stuff. It's so cool. It's so interesting. All right. So anyway, moving on. So parts of the immune system. So we talked a little bit about the cells. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about other parts. So the lymphatic vessels, these are like your drainage system. You can actually, if you take your hands and you feel under here, just gently, don't push hard, you can actually feel these some lymphatic tissue under here. Like if you've ever been really sick, sometimes your cheeks will swell, like you'll swell and it will hurt. These are actually lymphatic vessels, and what these are is these are kind of like the filtering system for your body a little bit. They help pull out cells that are sick, and they help fight. So all right, let's look here. The lymphatic vessels help return excess tissue fluid back to the bloodstream. This extra fluid was left behind during the exchange of nutrients and waste. Once the fluid enters the lymphatic vessel, it's called lymph. On the trip back to the blood, the lymph is filtered by the lymph nodes. These things right here. These nodes remove cellular debris and foreign bodies such as bacteria. So the bad things. So if we go back to this idea of your immune system being like soldiers, okay, when there's a war, right? So imagine like the sniper, he shoots somebody, they die, okay? You don't want to just leave the dead body sitting out there. You want to get rid of the dead body, right? So you want to actually clean up the mess after the war. And so what your lymphatic vessels and your lymph nodes do, they actually help clean up kind of after the war, or while your body's fighting. So instead of just like dead soldiers everywhere on the battlefield, they're actually kind of clearing it away so that your body can continue to fight the battle well. And if you get like really sick, sometimes like it gets hard to swallow and it's really like, oh, it hurts so much. Anyone ever had that? What happens with that is you've had such a bad fight going on inside your body. All these dead cells, all these dead soldiers now are piling up in your lymph nodes and it's getting swollen. And that's why it hurts. Okay. Or if you have a bad bacterial infection, it can really hurt. Well, I hope you never do have that, Hanlu. So they remove cellular debris or cellular garbage and foreign bodies such as bacteria. After the waste and bacteria have been removed by the lymph nodes, the clean lymph is sent into the body again. So it's just taking out the bad stuff and it's putting the clean fluid back in. Okay, red bone marrow, super important. Okay, this is found in many bones, particularly your long bones. So your long bones, for example, would be like your radius and ulna or your humerus. So red bone marrow is found in many bones. This bone marrow produces stem cells. These stem cells divide to produce several different types of cells, including red and white blood cells. White blood cells play a key role in chasing down and destroying pathogens in the body. Let's look back. Oh, stem cell. Where is this cell? Where in your body? It's in the bone. In the bone marrow. So these cells are actually made in your bone marrow, in your bones, and then they can become different things in your body. Okay, different soldiers to help fight. Okay, so one word that we have here that's like a new word is pathogen. Everyone say that? Pathogen. Y'all are on mute. I can't hear it, but pathogen is just something that causes disease. Oh, getting hot. A pathogen is something that causes disease, okay? So you can be all like technical and be like, oh, I think I've caught a pathogen, mother. You're just saying, I think I caught something that made me sick, okay? Pathogen. All right. So your bone marrow, though, okay, it produces your stem cells, okay, your precursor, which just means like an early on stem cell. It produces your stem cells that will produce different parts of your immune system, which will fight the, what's the word? What does your immune system fight? Starts with a P, pathogens, right? So these things will fight the pathogens in your body, and they're all made in your bone marrow. All right, let's see. All right. Oh, okay, just checking time. So the immune system, it attacks pathogens. This is the big picture. It attacks pathogens like the police or like the military. So you imagine like if some like foreign army came and invaded your country, the military and the police would be like, no, go away, and they'd kill them all, right? And so the immune system is like the police or the military in your body. They kill invaders that are not welcome. Well, just pretty much everything isn't welcome. Okay, so there's your little soldier. Immune system is like the police. Okay, your immune system also has different tools to help them fight pathogens. Okay, for example, you have things like your skin, right? You don't think of your skin as part of your immune system, but imagine for a second I ripped all your skin off you. Other than it being painful, what would happen if you didn't have any skin? What would happen to your body? So I get rid of your skin. Has anyone here ever had a very bad cut and maybe you did not clean it? When you cut yourself, what happens if you get a cut? If you don't clean the cut, what can happen? So you cut yourself and you say, oh, I won't tell mom or dad. Yeah, Tony says it will swell. And does it feel good, Tony, when it swells? No, it really doesn't. It can get infected. That's what William said. Thank you, William. So yeah, it can get infected. So if you have a cut in your skin, bacteria can get into your body and then it will start getting really yucky and get like white pus, and oh, it'll be gross if you don't clean it. So your skin is actually a bit like a lock on your body. Okay, it actually can help keep these bad things from getting inside your body. It's a bit like a front door, okay, a bit like a shield, even. Okay, and then we can also have things called, we have them called cytokines. Okay, we have actually kind of like little cellular bombs that, like, your body's like, oh my goodness, there's a really bad invader. It's like a little cellular bomb, and it will like throw it at the bacteria or the virus, and it will kill the bacteria or virus that way. We have like wanted posters. So like, remember, your immune system, it remembers, right? You're like, this is why vaccines work. We give you a vaccine and your body's like, okay, I remember it. We're actually creating a wanted poster. We're actually remembering bad things, and our body's like, okay, I know how to fight it. Okay, so there's different tools that your body has to fight pathogens. Well, and your cells are actually on the lookout for pathogen. Actually, you have white blood cells in your body, and they're like, where is it? I gotta kill it. Okay, so your immune system, it both attacks and it both watches out for pathogens. Just like the military here in China, they're watching out for people that might come too close to the country, and they say, hey, go away, right? And if they get too close, and they kill them, right? And this is what all countries do. They protect their borders, and they're on the lookout for anything that might harm their country. And so your body does the same thing. All right, so barriers. Let's talk about sun, okay? To avoid getting a sunburn, you might wear a hat or sunscreen to shield you from the sun. The human body uses the same strategy to keep pathogens out. The body has several barriers that block harmful trespassers from getting in. Skin is the largest of these barriers. Dead skin cells on the surface of the skin form a tight shield that pathogens have a hard time penetrating. Dead cells are constantly flaking off, carrying potential invaders with them. Friendly bacteria, these are the good bacteria you were asking about. Friendly bacteria live in the cracks of the skin, crowding out disease-causing pathogens. The mucous membranes that line your mouth, nose, and stomach and intestines also fight off pathogens. The sticky mucus that lines these tissues traps pathogens, preventing them from traveling further inside the body to reproduce. Cells in the lungs have extensions called cilia that sweep mucus out, carrying pathogens with it. Several fluids in the body also keep pathogens from doing damage. Saliva and sweat and tears destroy certain types of bacteria. Your tears, when you cry, it can destroy bacteria. How crazy is that? All three also wash away destructive intruders. Strong acids in the stomach kill bacteria that make it that far. So your barriers are actually super important, right? So imagine like a country that doesn't have anybody protecting its borders. What's going to happen? If there's nobody to protect a country's borders, what will happen to that country? Will you have people coming in from other countries that, yeah, you'll have invasions. Exactly. And so your body does the same thing with the skin, right? If you ever like, oh man, I got to blow my nose, and you blow your nose, all of the snot, okay, that's actually, it's like your body's glue. It's kind of sticking to the invaders, to the bad things, so it doesn't get further into your body. Your tears, your sweat, it actually has stuff that will kill off bacteria. How cool is that? Isn't that amazing? Um, like, yeah, there's your earwax even is something that your body makes to help kill off bacteria. So all this like gross stuff that our body does actually is really protective. Okay, but don't pick your nose. Remember to blow your nose. Okay. Whoa. So this is kind of what your skin's like. It's a wall, germs, boom. Yeah, it can't get in there. And so if there's ever a cut in your skin, it's very important that you clean it properly and you keep it covered so that you don't get any bacteria in there, right? We don't want an infection. This is what your stomach does, okay? The acid actually, like in your stomach, something comes into your stomach. Most of the time, the acid in your stomach will kill it. Okay. There's a few things, a few bacteria, a few viruses that have learned how to work around it. But the acid in your stomach is actually really important because it kills the bacteria. Okay. Let's see, what's our time here? Keep an eye on the time. I want to make sure we get to vaccines for you guys. All right, so attack and defend. Okay, when a harmful okay, brain freeze. When a harmful invader manages to get by the body's protective barriers, the rest of the immune system steps in. So now it's like your skin got a cut, or bacteria, came into your nose, or a virus or something. All right, so don't worry, your body's going to protect you. Here's how. When a foreign visitor arrives inside the body, white blood cells are waiting. These cells patrol the bloodstream and the spaces between tissues in search of invaders. Some white blood cells will attack anything that doesn't belong in the body. Others attack only certain types of trespassers. So you have some cells that are like, if I see it and I don't like it, I'm going to kill it. And it doesn't like anything that doesn't have your body's antigen. So anything with the wrong antigen, it's like, I'm going to kill it. But then some of them are like, oh, I don't know. That one seems okay. But then a different cell comes in and it's like, yeah, no, I want to kill that one. So some cells are very specific with what they're going to kill. Other cells are like, I only kill, or yeah, some cells are like very, very specific. And then other cells are like, I'm going to kill everything. I hate everything. Okay. So yeah, some are specific, some are not. So your blood cells are like police officers, right? They're catching criminals, they're catching things that want to hurt you. Okay, but like police officers, they don't kill you when they take you in. Like your blood cells, depending on the white blood cell, is some of them just go, I'm gonna kill this thing. They're not very nice to things that are not your body. Okay, so macrophages, that's fun. You guys heard of the word macro? Macro means big, micro means small. Okay, so phage means eater. So macrophage means big eater. It's a big eater. It eats everything. This is like the hungry cell, hungry hippo of cells. It eats everything. So, all right, here we go. Macrophages are one of the white blood cells that devour cellular debris and anything that appears to be foreign. Macrophage means big eater. If a macrophage finds something it does not recognize, it engulfs and digests it. Macrophage tend to patrol the skin, mucous membranes, and other places where intruders are commonly found. So you blow your nose, probably a lot of macrophages in that snot. Ew, gross. Okay, so these are they kill everything. All right. We also have proteins, lysozymes, and histamines. Okay. Antimicrobial proteins also protect against pathogen invasions. Antimicrobial means against tiny organisms. These proteins trigger responses to the pathogens, helping the body get rid of them before they can cause bigger problems. For example, some antimicrobial proteins signal the body to develop a fever. Ooh! Higher temperatures inhibit, that means stop, bacterial growth and speed up immune system response and healing. Oh, I can't read the top. Oh, no. Oh, is it still going? All right. Lysozymes are enzymes found in tears, saliva, and sweat. These enzymes break down the cell walls of some bacteria, helping destroy them. Okay, so these are in your tears and your sweat, and they just like cut up things. Okay, they're little pairs of scissors. Histamines are chemicals that direct parts of the body to fight off infections. Histamines tell tissue to collect fluid, causing inflammation. Inflammation prevents infections from spreading to neighboring tissue. When tissues in the nose swell, they increase mucus production. This helps capture and wash away bacteria and viruses. Unfortunately, inflammation can also cause a sensation of pain or discomfort. So the next time you have a cold, remember that the runny nose, sneezing, and body aches are a sign that your immune system is doing its job. Yay! I'm sick and I don't feel good. Yay, my immune system's working. Yes, exactly. So let's look a little bit more at some of these things. So this is a macrophage. This is an actual picture of what's going on in your body right now. So you see him, he's like chasing this little black thing. He's like, I gotta get it, I got it, and then he eats it. Okay, so he's actually chasing down this bacterial right here. We got a little cocky bacteria, and you can see he's just chasing him down and he's engulfing him. Also, compared to the other cells, is he big or small? What do you think? Big or small? He is quite big, hence the term macro. And then you just see the way he goes after that thing is like, oh, macrophage. Phage means to eat. All right, this is what lysozymes are like. Take your fingers. Lysozymes, okay? Lysozymes are like cellular microbial scissors, okay? So they just go and they cut things up, lysozymes, okay? So this little thing here is a bad pathogen. No more, he's gone. All right, so onwards and upwards. Okay, people who have had chicken pox rarely get it, even if they're exposed to the disease. Why? Because their immune system can recognize and destroy the chickenpox virus if it reappears. Okay, so remember, your body remembers what it fights. It's not just like, oh, that was a bad experience, I want to forget it. No, it's like, I'm going to remember how to deal with this next time it happens. Your body's smart, guys. Okay. T cells and B cells are the major players in this part of the immune system. These cells form a special group of white blood cells called lymphocytes. The majority of mature lymphocytes are found in the lymphoid organs. After a macrophage, I can't speak today, sorry. After a macrophage engulfs a pathogen, it displays a piece of the pathogen, its antigens, on the surface. When the macrophage introduces the antigen to the correct T cells, an immune system response is triggered. So we go back to here. It's like, oh, I'm going to eat it. Num 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 num. Okay, so it eats the bacteria, and then it goes and it's like it shows that bacteria to something called a T cell, and the T cell says, thank you very much. And then the T cell takes that antigen and it looks up. It's like, okay, here's how we kill this thing. And then it starts an immune response to the virus. So you don't get sick with that virus again. It's really cool. So sometimes your own cells need to die. Like, so we talked, your actual, wait, go back here. No, go back. Okay. So, okay, sorry, didn't mean to click forward. Okay, so there are two types of T cells. You have helper cells that actually like identify. So like the macrophage is like, here's this part of this, here's the antigen from this bad thing in your body that was in your body. And you have a helper T cell that's like showing it, okay? And then you have the killer T cell that actually identifies and says, this is the bad thing that needs to die. So the helper T cells release chemicals, so we're reading now. Once activated, the helper T cells release chemicals that increase the number and activity of macrophages, killer T cells and B cells. The killer T cells are designed to destroy infected or cancerous cells. So this is actually really important because your killer T cells, they're actually going to kill your own cells. Oh no! Okay, but it's a good thing because your killer T cells only kill your own cells when they're either infected with a bad virus or bacteria, or if they have become cancerous. So your killer T cells don't kill your own cells unless there's a problem with them. So yeah, these are the cells that will do the dirty work, your killer T cells, and they'll kill other cells in your body that are bad, that are infected with something bad, right? Just like a crazy killer. Okay. All right. So another thing that your body can do, one second, I need to move my box around. Okay. B cells circulate through the body or through the bloodstream, through your body and the bloodstream and lymphatic vessels. Many gather in the spleen and lymph nodes to search for antigens there. The B cells' main job is to produce ongoing immunity for the body. They do this by producing antibodies. Okay, everyone say antibody, antibody. Okay, these are super important because it's what we're going to get into next, which is vaccines. Okay, antibodies are small Y-shaped proteins, are these guys over here, that are specifically designed to stick to specific antigens, such as the ones on the virus that causes chickenpox. The antibodies make it harder for pathogens to invade other cells and spread throughout the body. They also mark the pathogens, making it easier for macrophages and other white blood cells to find and destroy them. Basically, what an antibody is, guys, is it sticks to the virus or the bacteria and it puts like a flag on it and it says, okay, hey, killer cells, killer T cells, you need to kill this thing over here. You need to destroy this thing over here. So it's like a marker that lets the soldiers in your body know how to kill what it needs to kill. Yeah, okay, great question, Lisa. The whole for T and B. So T cells, they actually they form in a little, they come from your bone marrow, or they're white blood cells that have migrated to something in your body called the thymus. Okay, this is actually when you're a baby, you have this little thing on top of your heart called a thymus, and this is actually where your T cells train. Hence the name T cells. Your B cells stand for bone cells. Okay, so yeah, really good question, Lisa. I love it. Okay, so the B cells, these form in your bone marrow, whereas the T cells, they form in your thymus. Okay, yeah, excellent. Okay, so the antibodies, though, these are actually made in your B cells. Okay, so your B cells are actually super important because they create antibodies. Okay, good question. I like it. Okay, so here's an example of a B cell, and he's actually producing a lot of antibodies and he's sending them out. So these are like the flags. So like, for example, if somebody had COVID, what happened at some point is their B cells went, okay, we know how to kill it. And they made a ton of antibodies, and the B cell made a ton of antibodies and then sent them out to the body and then marked all the COVID viruses and marked all the infected cells and said, kill these cells and kill these viruses. And your body's like, yes, sir, and killed them all. Okay, so there's an example of a B cell. Okay, okay, so we're gonna talk a bit now about immunization. We only got a couple minutes here. Okay, we're gonna talk about immunization and how it works. Okay, so immunization is basically, how does it work? Okay, so immunization is basically when doctors will introduce a really weak version of the virus, or they'll actually take the virus and they'll go chop, 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 kill, 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 and they'll kill the virus completely. And then they'll give your body a little bit of the virus bits, okay, the antigens of the virus. Now, if you remember, when your body sees an antigen, it freaks out, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I got to get rid of this. And so when you have either a piece of the virus or a very weak version of the virus in your body, what this is it's basically like, hey, this is how you can fight this virus. Okay, so once that's introduced into your body, once you get the vaccine, the body will then produce antibodies. Okay, so it'll actually produce these things called antibodies, which are made by your B cells. So it makes all these little flags, okay, all these little things to help your body to know what to fight. And then if the virus actually comes back in, if you actually get introduced to the real virus, so the vaccine might just be a broken virus or a very, very weak version of the virus, it allows your body to make antibodies. okay? And those antibodies, that gives your body a head start on the fight. So now if the real virus comes into your body, you already have all the antibodies floating around your body. And what will happen is the body's like, and let's just kill that before you even get sick. Okay. So vaccines actually, they help your body learn how to fight the bad guy before it ever comes into contact with the bad guy. So, and because your body remembers what it has to fight, it will remember that for a long time. Okay, so if you fight, for example, chickenpox, your body remembers how to fight chickenpox. But it sucks having chickenpox, right? Do you guys want to have chickenpox? Yay, chickenpox! No, you don't want to have chickenpox. So what the chickenpox vaccine does is it gives you a dead, broken down version of chickenpox, but it still has all those antigens. And then your body's like, okay, let's produce antibodies. Your immune system produces antibodies. And then you don't get sick though. So your body still develops immunity, but you don't get sick. And then let's say your best friend comes over one day, hug, tries to give you the chickenpox virus. You're not going to get chickenpox because your body already knows how to defend against it, how to fight it. It already has all of the antibodies. Isn't that cool? Okay, well, man, I always feel like time goes so fast in these things. I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to give you a chance to ask any questions now. And if you don't have any questions, I have more to say, but I want to give you a chance to ask some questions. Anyone have any questions? Hello? Any questions? Okay, I'm gonna wait like another 20 seconds. Macrophages. Yes, I'm excited about macrophages too, Yolanda. They're pretty exciting. They're just like big eaters. Any questions? Okay, I'm gonna give you like another few seconds here. Does laughing heal us? That's a really good question. I think emotionally that makes some sense, Yolanda, that laughing can help heal us, because if you are sick and all you want to do is give up and feel sick, you can feel even worse, right? Like if you focus on how sick you feel, you're just like, oh, I want to die. But, if you talk to some friends on Zoom and you laugh a little bit, sometimes that'll help you feel better. So, yeah, I think laughing can make us heal. Yeah, laughing can help with pain. It actually that releases some positive chemicals in your brain. When you laugh and you smile, you actually can cause happy chemicals to be released in your brain. And yeah, when you're happy, you feel healthier, even if you're still kind of sick. So yeah. All right. Any other questions? Bueller. Okay. Well, let's go ahead then. Okay, let's talk about different kinds of vaccines, because actually this is what I really wanted to talk with you guys about today. Go back to our PowerPoint. Okay. There's actually different kinds of vaccines. And so the current news that you're seeing, there's actually two kinds of vaccines out right now for the COVID vaccine. But we'll talk about this. So we have inactivated vaccines. This is actually when we took a virus and we completely kill it, and we're using the dead virus to make the vaccine. And then we have something called attenuated vaccines, which is where we take a very weakened like, so attenuated just means like weakened. So we take like a very weak version of the virus and we use it to make an immune response. Like, so the virus is weak. It's not enough to make you sick, really sick. It's enough to make you just a little bit sick, but not to really cause big problems. So polio, you guys have all been vaccinated for polio, I hope. Polio is a attenuated vaccine. So it's a vaccine well, at least early on, it's not a live virus. So we have inactivated vaccines, attenuated vaccines. We also have something called subunit vaccines. So this is where we're not actually taking the whole virus. Like if you look here, this is the whole virus is in the vaccine, but it's dead. Here, we're actually taking part of the virus, okay? The antigen, only the antigen of the virus, and we're actually killing it completely, and it's no longer any parts of it, and we put that into the vaccine, and this will cause an immune response. And then the new thing that we have, it's not new, but it's about 10 years old, so it's pretty new, is a nucleic acid vaccines, okay? And so this is actually the American, and I think the British version of the COVID vaccine is a nucleic acid vaccine. And so now what they're doing is they're not taking the outside antigens of the virus, they're actually taking the genetic material for the antigen, like, and they're putting it straight into your cells. So now you're not even dealing with any parts of the virus at all. You're just kind of giving your cells directly the information on how to make the antibodies. Okay, so really, like all these three, they kind of all work in the same way. You're going to have your B cells producing, you're going to have your T cells presenting antigens and to the B cells, and yeah, you're gonna have like kind of a more natural, it's more close to kind of what normally goes on when you get sick. But this one's different because we're actually putting in, we're actually giving the genetic material straight to your cells, and we're not having to do anything with the virus bits at all. So can a vaccine kill COVID? No, it's not going to kill COVID, Yolanda. What it's going to do is it's going to get your cells to learn how to fight COVID so that you don't catch it. Jerry, you're like counting down here, not helping. So yeah, vaccines don't kill the virus, but they keep you from catching the virus, from it getting to a point where it makes you ill. Okay. So there's a lot of different kinds of vaccines, but they all have the same goal of making your body work to stop it, Jerry. But they all have the same goal of getting your body to produce immunity so that you don't get sick with the virus. So yeah, I know none of you guys like getting shots, but this is why when you're a kid, you get tons and tons of vaccines, tons and tons of shots when you go to the doctor. Well, the virus is already dead, Lisa. So what if your body can't kill the dead virus? The virus is already inactivated. It's no longer alive. And so your body can fight it. What can happen sometimes is people could have an allergic reaction, but that's not usually because of the virus itself, it's because of other things. But the dead virus, when it's completely deactivated and dead, it's like, oh no, what happens if like a dead soul, like if it's dead, it can't hurt you anymore. So the dead virus can't hurt you. So your body's already, you can't kill something that's already dead. I guess that answers your question. So vaccines actually are really important. Before we had vaccines, about like 150 years ago, when we first got like smallpox vaccines, it was really normal to be like a 10-year-old kid and be like, yay, I'm having a happy childhood, and then die from something like smallpox or die from whooping cough or something like that. So childhood, this is actually an example of what childhood was like before vaccines. If you look at this tombstone here, all of these kids are under age 15. Like these are all children that died young from viral diseases. Okay. Yeah. So Lisa, if we show your body the dead virus, it basically like teaches your body how to kill the real live virus. And so then when you get infected, it will kill it before it becomes a problem for you. Yep. All right, Jerry, thanks. Yes. Very good, Lisa. That's exactly it. Yeah, great. Bye, Jerry. So any more questions before we move on?
So my question is that how can you tell if you need to use which kind of vaccine for which disease?
Well, your doctor. Whoa, got a lot of feedback there. Your doctor, he knows which diseases are most common, and so what your doctor, he knows which ones you need. So there might be diseases in, for example, Africa that you don't need a vaccine for in China. What?
Are there diseases that don't have vaccines?
Yes, there are some diseases that don't have vaccines.
And like, what if you have to use the weak cell solution, but then the person's immune system cannot kill the weak cell?
Oh, that's a very good question. You're a real thinker. So there are certain vaccines that they say people who are sick should not get. Like we call them live vaccines, the attenuated vaccines. There's certain vaccines that they're like, if you are sick already, you should not get this vaccine. But there are some vaccines that are safe because they don't have any live virus. They only have maybe bits of the virus or dead virus, and those are safe.
About the bits of the virus, are the bits alive?
No, the bits are dead. So like if I chop off your finger, it will die, right? Your finger's not alive. And so that's what it's like.
So where can you find the DNA of a bacteria?
So the DNA of the bacteria is inside the bacteria.
So how do you take the information out?
So what you can actually do is you can break open a cell. And you want to know how to break open a cell?
But then how do you see a cell in the first place?
You have to use a microscope. But you can break open a cell and get the DNA out with just some soap and some water. You can actually break open some cells.
But then who, like, what does the DNA look like? Can you actually take it in your hands?
Well, DNA is very, very, very tiny. It's very, very, very tiny indeed. You can see it. You can see a lot of it when it's all tied together, but it's like a bunch of string kind of. It's super, super small and super, super skinny. You can't see it without a microscope.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Really good questions, Shinran. I'll tell you an experiment to how to see DNA, okay? I'll send that to teacher Annie and she can share with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, well, thank you for your time. I'll put the PowerPoint to teacher Annie and I'll let that experiment about how to see your own DNA. I'll send that to you too, okay?